welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. I've missed you so much. In today's video, we are finally back in front of a camera. I've missed you guys more than you could ever possibly know, and I feel like life has been so busy that I have not talked to you nearly enough, but it's finally summer and it means I can finally devote so much more time to you guys and talking to you guys and making videos for you guys. As we're on the topic of summer, we're gonna be giving you 10-ish 15-ish book recs for you to read this summer, plus my summer TBR. I have a good chunk of books here, like a good list compiled of all things summer reads. In no particular order, our first book that you need to pick up this summer is Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. If you know Carly Fortune, she is the author of Every Summer After and One Golden Summer, which are books I have talked to you guys about in the past. This is her newest release, guys. When it comes to Carly Fortune, I was a little bit nervous, especially when it came to Every Summer After. I was not a fan of that book, and I didn't read the second book in the series. I was very hesitant of her writing style after Every Summer After because I just wasn't a fan of the trope in that book. Picking up One Golden Summer, that was almost a 5-star read. I think like a 4.5, 4.75 star, and I loved it last year. So coming into this book, I only had excitement, and I picked it up the second it released. When I tell you this book is a coastal summer lake house backstory. I think it's like childhood best friends to lovers. We're following, I don't even remember their names. We're following Frankie and George. They've been best friends forever, but over the past couple of years, they've been kind of drifting on and off of their friendship. Frankie is getting engaged this weekend, and she thinks that George isn't going to show up to her wedding, but of course he does. One thing leads to another, and her wedding ends up getting called off, and after that, he kind of swoops in to save her. We get a story about her becoming herself, but we also get to see her falling in love with George again and finally seeing him as more than just her best friend. And I feel like this was such an organic best friends to lovers coastal vibe. I feel like that's a really popular trope, but this one felt so natural, and we really get step by step as Frankie starts to see George as more than just her friend. And they had such a almost like BJ and Magnolia type of interlinked, like they just knew what each other were thinking. They grew up together. They had this bond that was so tangible, like we could see it. So it was so nice because they were just so known in each other. They were so connected, and it was just little building blocks, and it was like a slow burn. After like already having years of friendship behind their belt, they were just like slow burn to this one love story, and it felt so amazing. I really loved it. Genuinely, I would recommend this to anyone who I cannot shut up about it. I think I read it all in one go. It was just so the yearning, the tropes, the characters, the love story, everything. Like, this is a summer romance, if anything, and it has such depth to it, and it has so much more than just love. And everything about the characters was so well encompassed in this book. And Carly Fortune is one of my favorite summer romance authors. I would definitely recommend this one. This one was so good. Then we have a read that I just picked up pretty recently, Dolly All the Time by Annabelle Monaghan. This is my first Annabelle Monaghan book. I finally cracked the shell because I was very scared walking into this world. I feel like Nora Goes Off Script is so popular, and I've always wanted to pick it up, but I never have, and this is the first one I got. I bought it because of Des was like, oh, I really love it, and I was like, okay. When I got it, I opened this book kind of thinking it'd be like a beachy summery read. I didn't really know what to expect. It is a single mom trope. We're following Dolly. Dolly is oldest daughter. She has oldest daughter syndrome. She is a single mom, and she takes care of her dad and her brother who has like a mental disability. So she moves back to her old coastal town for the summer to take care of her dad after a small fire at her house. And as she's like managing everything, she's working at their old fish shop. She does a little delivery to this big, how do I say it? I guess like the most famous rich family in town. They are the founders of this town. So she does a little delivery to them, and there she encounters the oldest son. She helps him change his tire, and from there it's a fake dating trope. I had a lot of fun with this book. I had honestly nothing but great things to say about it until the very last bit. I would take the last part of the book with a grain of salt. It was not my favorite ending, but I think the build up, it was so fun and so enjoyable, and I was just flying through the book. It's so summery. It's really summery vibe. I was reading this on the beach most of the time, and I was just having a really great time with these characters. The banter. I liked Gus, which was Dolly's son. I'm a fan of single parent tropes, but even if you're not, he wasn't really annoying or like a pressing character. If anything, he only added like a sense of endearment to the book. I had fun. I think that was the main thing about this. I just had a lot of fun, and I felt like I was in this coastal town with them, and it was just very summery. So I would definitely pick this up, especially like on a beach or something. Like, this is your beach read. Next we have How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. The best way I can describe this is an Irish comic rom-com-y book. Basically, we're following Sam, who is a literary agent. He's basically supposed to track down authors and make sure they finish their books. He's also a lover of this well-known epic fantasy series. I don't know what the word would be for it, but it's stagnant right now because there's one last and final book to wrap up the whole series, and the author of the series passes away before the book can be finished. His daughter is meant to finish off the book, and Sam is a big fan of the series, so he goes to Ireland to track down this daughter because she has not been working on the book. That's where we meet Kira. Basically, they are kind of just like a workplace, even though they're not working. It's like a workplace romance. It's an author and a literary agent trying to finish this one book together, but also spending the summer together, and they slowly fall in love. It's very slow burn, rom-com, fic, so fun. It's just really fun. The time I spent reading it was only a good time, and I was flying through it. It's very witty, and I really liked Sam and Kira's style of going about everything. It felt very slow burn, even though it's not too long. It's only like 330 pages. We also got some underlying tones of like grief and how not to burn out and how to ask for help and all these kinds of things. So it had a very coastal summery vibe. So I would definitely pick this up, especially if you're traveling. It hooks you to the story, and you start to care about the characters, and everything's just like really fun with this book. So the next book I would recommend is Slanting Towards the Sea. This book, honestly, I don't think you're prepared to walk into what you're gonna walk into, but I think it's best to go into this book blind. So I'm gonna give you the vaguest outline I can. So we're following Ivana and Valo. They have been childhood friends to lovers for a really long time. So they are separated, and it's a story about yearning. It's a story about Ivana finding herself. Like, it's toxic while also yearning for another person, and then it's how to move on while also not knowing how to move on, because they've gone through so much and they've shared so much between each other, and they've had so many trials and errors and so many things built up into the relationship. So it's them trying to see if they can find their way back to each other, but also knowing if this is something that they should let go. But we mainly follow Ivana and her story in this, and how she feels about the whole situation and all these things that she's gone through throughout her life. And I cannot remember what country it is. Oh, it's Croatia. The setting for this story, we're put in a place where we're understanding the struggles of her town and her country. There's like a garden or something that's such an important part of this book, and it feels like I stepped foot in that garden. It feels like I stepped foot on this land, and she loves her country so much, and she describes it so beautifully. I just really remember how vivid it felt to step into this book, and it was like I was there, and I was mourning so many things for this country, and I was feeling so many things for these people. And Ivana honestly is a mess. I think she was not easy to follow, and so much of her struggles and her decisions were not easy to back her on, but in the end you're really just following her life, and you're like along for the ride, and it's so entertaining. I would take everything in this book with a grain of salt. Did I agree with the outcome of this book? No, but I loved the writing. It was so beautifully written. It is such a beautiful story, and I'm gonna read you the very first paragraph just so like you can get a taste of what you get reading this book. Sometimes I stalk my ex-husband. I open his socials and sift through his photos. I know their sequence like I know the palm of my hand, better even, because I can never memorize what my palm looks like, how the life lines twirls into the love line, how it begins tight and uniform but then turns ropey. It scares me to look at it, to trace the lines, to see where they might lead me years to come. But I know Valo's photos by heart. Guys, everything about this was beautiful. The writing was beautiful, the characters were beautiful, the setting was beautiful, the story was beautiful. You just have to come into it with an open mind and just ready to hear whatever she throws at you, and understand the messiest parts of her life and the most beautiful parts of her life and the hardest things, and feel frustrated with the characters and feel happy with the characters. And it's just like a whirlwind of every single emotion, but it's such a good time. It is literally like being in Croatia. You need to read this on vacation, you need to read this on the beach, you need to read this outside. You just need to feel all the summer feelings, because this is what this book gives you, and it is so worth it. Then we have one of my very first 5 stars of 2026, The Wedding People by Alison Espach. This book was so unexpected. I'm not going to recommend this to you as a summary read because it's very lighthearted and easy. I feel like the other books had that more of a vibe. This is a really heavy book that takes place during the summer, but I think you should still pick it up in the summer. We're following Phoebe. She is depressed, I guess you could say. She has also just gone through a divorce. So she goes to this dream hotel that she's always wanted to visit in Newport, Rhode Island. She just has a mission that she wants to complete at this hotel. It is finally time for her to splurge. She's been a teacher for I don't know how long. Her marriage has just ended. Her life feels like it's ending, and she goes to this hotel to seek out what she believes will be like the solution to everything. And in doing that, she meets such important people, and it's so funny, and it's so like laughing and lighthearted, and it almost covers the darker themes of this book. The comedy just makes a story, and it's set on this like beach town, and we're following this wedding, and we're following the wedding people, but also we're following like the darker themes of her life. It's such an important read, emotional, and it's like hard to get through, but it's so endearing and fulfilling, and like the characters and the found family that you see in this book save her. Like everything comes together to really teach you a lesson about life, and it all just takes place in this hotel in Newport, Rhode Island. And I think that's the part where you just need to read it during the summer. If you're in the mood for a heavier read, if you're in the mood for an important read, something that will like touch your heart, this book changed it for me, and I still think about it so fondly, and I didn't know what I was walking into when it came to this book. But now reading it, I'm so grateful to have picked it up, especially when I did. I hope I can reread it this summer. But yeah, this book was everything to me. This book was 5-star, 6-star read, and I think everybody needs to pick it up. So please pick this up. Okay, this one's familiar. One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This book comes before Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. This summer read is a summer read of summer reads. We're following Charlie and Alice. Alice is really into photography. She's been into photography since she was a child. She has now come back to the beach town that she's always occupied as a child. I think she came like every single year or something with her grandma. She now comes back to the beach house as an adult to take care of her grandmother, who is, I think she's aging or something, like she's declining her health. The person who is like maintaining this beach house and lives next door is Charlie. He is the older brother from Every Summer After. Guys, please do not judge him in that book, because in this book he is everything. Him and Alice, I guess like they have like a little bit of feud, because Alice is very independent and Charlie is very just like, I want to help you. They're on odds with each other. Over time they start to spend more time in each other's presence. Alice's grandmother tries to kind of have like a hand in setting them up, and it's very like slow burny vibe. There's also a subplot, because when Alice was younger, she took a picture of like these kids on a boat, and she's had this picture with her ever since, and it gets incorporated into the plot, and it's just really like endearing and summery, and it's a lake house vibe, so we're getting a lot of them like on the boat, on the beach, having bonfires, that kind of vibe, and I just loved it. It was so summer. It was so enjoyable. Their banter, their story. Like I miss it, and I would reread it to this day, because their slow burn romance, whatever, gave me life. Then I would recommend Beg, Borrow, Steal by Sarah Adams. This book, honestly, doesn't have anything really summery about it, no, but it has that kind of vibe. I just feel like this book serves everything you want in the summer on a platter. You want something entertaining, you want something witty, you want something fun, but you also want a love story that will be worth reading about, and I think this gives everything, even though it's not set in a coastal town or anything. We're following Emily Walker and Jack. They have been longtime academic rivals, and they've basically done everything together because they're both teachers. So they've grown up, they've argued in school, they've argued honestly all the way until they both became teachers in the small town. Then Jack moved away so he could get married. This book starts off with us finding out that Jack called off his wedding and is moving back to town. Emily is very like put off by this, because she doesn't like Jack. They have been enemies for a really long time, and they don't actually secretly like each other. They genuinely are not a fan. So when they come back, it's back into this routine of rivalry and fighting and pettiness as adults. And Emily, as a teacher, also loves writing, so she wants to be an author, and one drunken night she sends her manuscript to a publisher, or who she thinks is a publisher but actually ends up being her boss. They come into this plan of, I will help you break into his office to get your manuscript back if you help me, da da da. And then they start to work together, and they just start to infiltrate each other into their lives again, and it's really fun. fun. It's slow burning while being also like, it's not like we're lacking clips of the people together. They're just like slowly liking each other after so long of hating each other, and they're starting to understand why they've gravitated to each other for so long and so often over the years. And it's really fun to just get to be on the roller coaster with them. I just think it was fun. I love Sarah Adams, and we actually have another Sarah Adams book coming up. Her writing is just fun. Like, it's fun, it's easy, it's quick, it's bantery, and the romance is always worth it. So I would definitely pick this book up this summer. Then we have another Sarah Adams book, The Match. This book I picked up, I think, almost 3 years ago now, on vacation, on the beach, by the pool, whatever. And I still think about it pretty often when I'm thinking about summer reads. This is just something that automatically comes to mind. It was such a sweet story, but it was so perfect for where I was reading it. It was so easy to binge while I was by the water and just like really sunny outside, and I had so much fun reading it on vacation specifically that I would really recommend reading this by a beach, by a pool, anywhere. Just anywhere outside. We're following Evie and Jacob. Jacob is, I think he's a single father, and his daughter has epilepsy, and he has been trying to like find out things that can just help her out. Evie has a business for animals to help children with epilepsy. So naturally it kind of works out. But the thing is that Jacob's daughter is the one who wants the dog, and Jacob is hard against it. So her daughter kind of has like this fun little plot of trying to get them to meet. And when they do meet and realize that it wasn't them that had set up a meeting, but actually Evie and Jacob's daughter, they're kind of like, okay, sorry, this is not for me, but they do gravitate back to each other. And it's a really nice, sweet, endearing story. I think also we don't have a lot of books talking about epilepsy, so it does bring a lot of awareness. I don't know, I really like books with kids, and I really like the message of this book, and it was so quick. I think it's not even 300 pages, but you get to see them slowly open up to each other. The daughter has a really cute storyline and a plot line, and this dog, and like everything just becomes very like found family, and as if they can become a family in themselves as they slowly come together for this dog and just to help her with their diagnosis. So it's really cute, and I really liked it, and I had a lot of fun reading it. And I think every single person should read this because it was really like, it brought awareness to epilepsy and people who struggle with epilepsy while also having a really endearing storyline and romance, and I really appreciated that about this book even all these years later. Then we have the summer romance of summer romances, the big top one summer romance. I would say every romance by this author is a summer romance that I think everybody should pick up, but this one takes the cake. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez is genuinely, it's peak. It is peak literature. It is peak summer reading. This book, we're following Emma and what is his name, like Justin? Yeah. So basically they both find each other on this Reddit thread about how they think that they're cursed. They think they're always destined to be the person before the love of their life, and every single time they date someone, they break up with that person, and then that person will go on to find the love of their life. So when they interact, or they both find this Reddit thread, they think, okay, wait, let's cancel out our curses. If Justin and Emma date, then naturally they both will cancel out, and the next person that they date will be the love of their life. It's a really funny plan. Like, it's not very serious. Obviously we are following real adults, so it doesn't get very like magical realism from here. They just have fun. They have fun, and they do meet, and they do spend the summer together, but they actually end up having a much better summer than anticipated, and it becomes a lot more like, I'm actually attached to you, and this might just be more than just for the summer. And it was Abby Jimenez, she is the queen of banter. She is the queen of witty. She is the queen of a funny rom-com book that moves super fast. Even if it is over 400 pages, it is peak. Her books are peak. I love it. I love how much fun I have, and I feel like you're thrown into the story from the second, and their banter is always worth it. So I'm definitely gonna reread this book this summer, but I also think every single person should read this book because it is one of the best summer reads you will ever pick up, and you'll have so much fun. Honestly, in any Abby Jimenez book, but especially this one. These are all the books I have recommended for you guys to read this summer. Ooh, look at that stack. Okay. Now let's get into my summer TBR. Honestly, I don't have too many books on my summer TBR. I think I have like 4. And honestly, it's because I don't have that many books on my physical TBR that I've been wanting to read that are very like summery. But I do want to get some more. So please drop any summer recs that you have in the comments. Anything that's not very like popular or well known, because I feel like I read a lot of the book talk summer romances, and that's why it's been so hard to find new ones for the summer. Hopefully you guys have some recommendations. Please comment down below. But the books that I have put on my mini ultra kind of small summer TBR, Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I have had this book for years and years. I have had this book for so long that honestly it is worn, torn, been on multiple vacations and I still haven't read it. It's so hard for me to get into this book. I have no idea what my problem is. I love To Be Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I liked the Something Hypothesis, but this book, it's just alright. I don't know, like I haven't picked it up. Like I really want to, but every single time I try to pick it up, I never do. So this summer my goal is to finally read this book. But it's basically based around Maya, whose brother is getting married, and Maya's brother's best friend. And it's like my brother's best friend trope. And I'm here for that. It's very scientific. It's women in STEM. But it's also supposed to be like enemies to lovers because they hate each other now. And like that kind of trope. And I like it. I feel like starting this book, I'm always excited and then I always stop. So hopefully I can finally break the ice or something and get into this book. Then we have a book I bought. Honestly, I bought this book thinking I would read it the first week or a couple of days that I had it, and I never did. But I would love to pick up Loved One by Aisha Muharrar. I hope I'm saying that right. This book isn't really like summary. It's just supposed to be like a lit fic about two women and them encompassing grief and all that stuff. But the cover is super pretty and it feels like a summary book, and it's supposed to be like easy to get through. I don't know. This just gave me very summary read vibe, and I want to read it this summer. So I put it on the TBR, and I've been hoping that I could pick it up for so long, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up. So I am putting it on my summer TBR, hoping and praying that I can finally start this book. Then we have a book that I picked up on, I think in the airport or something, a year ago, 2 years ago, which is The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. Catherine Walsh, is Courtney Walsh, Catherine Walsh, are those people like together? Because this is also supposed to be about, oh, I thought this was set in Ireland. Are these people like, do they know each other? I feel like Courtney Walsh, Catherine Walsh, it's so like Chloe Walsh, like these people, there's a coordination. I don't know who or what, but there's a correlation between these people. This book, honestly, do I know anything about it? No. Do I know it's been on my shelf for a really long time? Yes. It's supposed to be about two women, I think, though. Like it's supposed to be about them finding themselves, and they're supposed to be in different stages of their life, and then they spend a summer together just saying, hey, let's just say yes to everything. What if I never said no and I could finally like break the shell of what my life is and experience new things this summer? And honestly, I haven't been too pressed to pick it up, but I do think adding it to my TBR will hopefully, fingers crossed, help me finally dedicate my time to it. Then lastly but not least, I don't have this book with me, but I did just order Summer Fridays. This book, honestly, I just know that Sarah Corley was raving about it. She really wanted to pick it up. It's supposed to be kind of like a funny story type of read, and if you never read Funny Story by Emily Henry, that's basically about two people who get cheated on and their spouses cheat on them together, so they end up bonding over that and then spending a lot of time together, and then they end up falling in love. So that's kind of what I gathered from the synopsis of Summer Fridays, and I hope that's kind of what we're on, because I really loved Funny Story. It was really fun for me to read, and I missed that book. So yeah, honestly, I'm just hoping it's like a Funny Story dupe, or it's whatever it is, but I hope that I have some fun with that. So those are the books that are on my summer TBR. Those are all the books that I would recommend for you guys to pick up this summer. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, but God loves you so much more. If you have any book recs or you have any summer recs for me, please comment them down below, because obviously you see my summer TBR is really lacking and I need some more recommendations. I love you guys so much, and I hope and I pray I see you in the next one. Bye.